Meghan Hynson is currently a PhD student at musicology at UCLA, who advanced to the doctoral candidacy in December 2015. Since completing her BM in music education and oboe performance at Boston University in 2007, Meghan has spent several years in Bali, Indonesia, studying various styles of standard wayang music, Java theater rituals, and such as wayang Sapulege, and widely popular shadow puppet theater of Nordayana, known as Wayang Angklung. This January, she will travel to Bali again to conduct additional research for her upcoming dissertation on ritual, authority, and innovation involving shadow puppet theater. Her presentation today, titled Indonesian Angklung, Intersections of Music Education and Cultural Diplomacy, is drawn from research conducted in Java under the support of the Fulbright Coty Grant and a UCLA Lemelson Fellowship, and combines her interest in world music education and ethnomusicology. Her past projects combining these two fields have become the subject for innovative course offerings at UCLA and won Meghan the Elizabeth May Slater Prize at the Society for Ethnomusicology Conference in 2011. Let's welcome Meghan.
Correction, I'm actually advancing the candidacy in like 2 weeks, so we're doing my exams right now. Okay, good afternoon. Just kind of shifting the focus a little bit to Angklung. For myself and many Americans, maybe even most of you in the audience today, Indonesian arts are often the means by which people first come into contact with the island nation. Whether it's through gamelan, dance, shadow puppets in the theater department, masks in art school, batik clothing design, arts exchange programs, or events like this one, Indonesian arts have become a peaceful means of garnering attention and support for the country. With this in mind, my presentation today focuses on the Indonesian Angklung, a bamboo musical instrument from West Java, to not only demonstrate how recent developments have made it a particularly feasible tool for introducing Indonesia and world music education, but also to demonstrate how multiple facets of this educational model have made it an effective means of soft power within the current discourse on cultural diplomacy. For those who are unfamiliar, the angklung is a bamboo idiophone from West Java that is constructed by mounting two or more tuned bamboo tubes in a frame. This is not to be confused with the Balinese gamelan ensemble of the same name. Dating back to the 7th century, angklung has been used to accompany circumcisions, parades, and agrarian rituals such as planting, harvesting, and honoring the rice goddess, Dewi Shri or Dewi Pati. To be played, the angklung is shaken, producing a single tone or harmony by each instrument, and during traditional rituals, the angklung was distributed amongst a group and played rhythmically in a hocket-like fashion. Today, angklung can be hung and organized into rows and played by one person, or they are distributed amongst an entire group where individuals are responsible for sounding one or more tones to produce a desired melody. Traditionally, angklung is tuned in the West Javanese Selendro, Madenda, and Dugong scales. While these scales are still heavily maintained and often used in Indonesian music education, the introduction of Western diatonic tuning, by the father of angklung, Dayang Sutigna, in 1938 prompted an enormous surge of popularity for the instrument. Soon after, one of Sutigna's students, Ujo Nandagena, began promoting the widespread use of the angklung in Indonesian music education. Schooled in Western music theory, Ujo saw angklung's potential to teach a variety of musical skills. And in 1966, Ujo's passion for angklung in music education led him to create the Salam Angklung Ujo Angklung Performance and Learning Center in Bandung, West Java. Today, Salam Angklung Ujo is run by the Ujo family and continues to be extremely active in promoting Indonesian arts by hosting daily classes, daily tourist performances, and also there's a bamboo handicrafts factory specializing in bamboo souvenirs and high-quality angklung instruments. Having spent several weeks at this center, I was able to observe a myriad of activities happening there. I was truly surprised to see that their performances attracted hundreds of tourists each day, partly due to good marketing, but also in large part due to the unique experience that attending one of these performances afforded. By utilizing a system of hand signals developed by Hungarian composer and music educator Zoltán Kodai, attendees who had never played the angklung are immediately able to play the instrument. So I'm just going to demonstrate that here. They're then led through several several songs, such as the one shown in this video, following those hand signals. He's actually very skilled. They actually play some songs too where he'll do two different hand signals. So there's a kind of harmony going on and a melody going on in the other hand. Really, really amazing. So after the audience has become more familiar with their instrument, they then locate the number on the instrument and are led through a series of multi-part songs written in cipher notation by following a pointer. An example of this is shown here as the audience plays a famous Indonesian song called Burung Kakatua, or the cockatoo bird.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Focus.
I apologize for not putting the audience on.
Focus.
Okay, so Song Angklung Ujo has also worked extensively with the government and universities to institute Angklung music education in Indonesian schools. In addition to the musical benefits of Angklung, scholars have recognized other beneficial reasons behind playing the Angklung. Juju Masuna, professor of music and education at UPI, states in her book Angklung di Jawa Barat, Sebuah Perbandingan, or Angklung in Jawa, a comparison, that a different reason is the collective characteristic in the playing of Angklung. During play, Angklung can become a means of education to strengthen collaboration, discipline, precision, dexterity, and responsibility. It is for these reasons that the Angklung was also named an official music education tool by the Indonesian Ministry of Education in 1968. A brief summary of the official document is translated on the screen. So, given Angklung's ability to reach the masses and promote collaboration, I would now like to turn this presentation to focus on cultural diplomacy. The topic of cultural diplomacy is surprisingly broad, and what various actors in cultural diplomacy do involves an incredible array of activities, ranging from using arts engagement to educate and develop economies and rural communities to leveraging culture to support national interests. When applied in the proper way, cultural diplomacy is seen as one means of creating soft power, a term coined by Joseph Nye and defined as promoting a positive image of one's country in the public opinion of another, under the premise that diplomacy aimed at public opinion can become as important to outcomes as the traditional classified diplomatic communications amongst leaders. Authors such as Natalie Rincheva has discussed how the practice of such programs between different countries can be a powerful weapon in struggling with negative stereotypes and perceptions, and that the visual and performing arts in particular have the power to engage citizens on a personal rather than political level. I labeled this paper today Intersections of Music Education and Cultural Diplomacy for several reasons. First, because of the potential for Angklung to become a major tool for Indonesian engagement in world music education, and second, because of how the music education models and techniques previously mentioned have allowed Angklung to become an effective means of engaging foreign publics in specifically diplomatic events. So world music in a sense is a form of cultural diplomacy, but the American music educator faces a number of problems when trying to reach this goal. Time, money, standards that need to be reached, the skill level of the students, and the instructor's own limited knowledge of foreign musics can be a hindrance when trying to introduce Indonesia into the world music classroom. However, Angklung can be used to tackle those practical issues without sacrificing a world music component. Angklung is cheap and lightweight, and when tuned in the diatonic scale, it can be easily used to teach mandatory Western musical concepts. It is relatively easy to play and can be taught with or without the use of notation, making it accessible to students of all ages and abilities. When paired with Indonesian folk songs from throughout the archipelago, Angklung can provide a well-rounded introduction to the language, culture, and diversity of Indonesia. For example, students can engage in playing or singing Indonesian songs solo or in a group by using one of the many ubiquitous Indonesian songbooks. These include Lagu Wajib Nasional, national songs, and La Mudera, regional songs, giving students a repertoire that stretches the entire archipelago, introducing them to the language once again, and teaching them a song that children in Indonesia might know. Two such songbooks are pictured on the screen, showing two pieces from Maluku and Papua Barat. These ideas would greatly supplement cultural engagement offered by the gamelan traditions of Bali and Java, which might not be as accessible for some, and also do not really include the Indonesian language. Furthermore, Angklung can be used by all ages and abilities. It is great for a quick and easy hands-on introduction to Indonesia, or it can be developed into large, orchestrated, and accompanied pieces that instill deep musical skill and literacy. The possibilities for this ensemble truly range from the most simple to very complex, as evidenced by a performance of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody at Sangam Pujo. In this performance, college-age students played multiple Angklung in an orchestrated version of this popular tune. Questions of authenticity have always come to the fore, as traditionally Angklung is played in Sundanese scales. I do not wish to solely promote diatonic tuned Angklung as a replacement for gamelan or for Sundanese music, as traditional Sundanese Angklung could also be easily incorporated with the development of more educational tools. Furthermore, many of the Indonesian folk songs mentioned are in the diatonic tuning, and when looking at the playing of Angklung realistically in today's modernizing, globalized world, the diatonic scale has become an integral part of the Indonesian tradition as well. Recent scholars writing on cultural diplomacy have also commented on such issues. For example, Nestor Garcia Conclini in his essay, Hybrid Cultures and Communicative Strategies, draws on similar hybrids and innovations in Mexican, Guatemalan, and Peruvian cultures as examples that, quote, testify to the fertility of liminal creations and rituals that are concerned less with the preservation of purity than with the productivity of admixture. According to Yustir Raj Isar, music is a domain particularly rich in such liminalities, and hybrid forms of culture and cultural practice have the prospect of leveraging more cordial political relationships. These ideas are also resonant with other components of the new approach to cultural diplomacy, which includes being able to connect with foreign publics rather than elites and foreign officials, and undertaking two-way engagements that often include singing, dancing, and creating together. The effect to which Angklung can be a fun and engaging way to involve people with Indonesia has been demonstrated by the use of Angklung in purely diplomatic efforts. Starting in the 1960s, Pujo became notorious for traveling abroad and bringing Angklung for foreigners to play Indonesian songs. His Diplomasi Angklung, or Angklung diplomacy, received great support from the Indonesian government, particularly the Orde Baru, Suharto's Order G. Pujo's mission towards Angklung sebagai identitas budaya nasional, or Angklung as a national cultural identity, was also viewed as a means of musical nationalism to bring together the diverse nation. His legacy is still being carried on by his family, who recently celebrated as UNESCO named Angklung a piece of intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2010. Today, the Indonesian government and global embassies continue to support Angklung as an effective soft power method of cultural diplomacy. On July 9th, 2011, Ujo's son, Daeng Ujo, led a world record-breaking Angklung event on the Washington Mall. Maybe some of you are actually here for that, in Washington, D.C. So by utilizing those same Kodai hand signals, Daeng was able to lead over 5,100 Americans in playing We Are the World to create a new world record for the most colossal Angklung performance in history. More recently, this year, in 2013, the record was broken again in Beijing as 5,393 people were recorded at the event. In both cases, audiences were familiarized with the Indonesian archipelago, as each Angklung tone was paired with an island and a hand signals. So we're just going to watch a quick example of that.
Ya, ini selesai nama. Maluku. This is your time. And then the Flores. That is your time. Papua. This is your time. And Halmahera. That is your time. Okay, what you have to do is just follow my hand. Let us.
So I'm just going to jump, so I'm almost out of time, but I have a video here of the new world record that just happened in Beijing recently. I apologize for the video quality.
Today we have around 6,000 people around here, and all of us will take part in this record-breaking of the new record.
The current record for this Guinness World Records title stands at 5,182 people, and this was set by the Indonesian Embassy in Washington, D.C. on the 9th of July 2011. The record you need to beat today is 5,182 people. Good luck in your attempt.
Number 6, you have it is your side. Number 7. Everybody must remember the sign, and you must follow the sign.
All right, I hope you guys kind of get the idea here. Just to wrap up, as you can see, this colossal event was able to engage a large amount of people in the public domain, not only bringing together Indonesians and Americans, Indonesians and Chinese, but also spreading a common message amongst the diverse citizens who gathered in these events and came together to participate in the event. While cliche, "We Are the World" is a message driven home by this unique instrument, and it's my hope to say that this presentation stirs further ideas about how we might engage music and the arts in promoting respect and relationship between nations. Thank you.
Time for 2 questions.
Just a technical one. Are those clips available online somewhere, or?
The two at the end they're on YouTube.
Okay.
Just Google World Record Angklung,
Okay.
and you'll find, and there's quite a few.
Okay.
Some of the other ones were my personal videos.
Okay,
Hey. So yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that Angklung has morphed into essentially just covering pop songs, and it makes sense that they would do that in order to transmit to a large group of people like that. So I'm curious to if there's any interest in doing traditional repertoire, or if that would even be able to be transferred in a large scale like that.
I mean, certainly, having visited this center, at the center they teach the students diatonic Angklung, but they also teach a lot of Sudanese based on Angklung, and I know that the teachers and the family there are very, very supportive of Sudanese style Angklung. Having visited the schools that they teach in too, it's mostly all Sudanese music that they're teaching to these students. I think, the reason that they've adapted the diatonic scale is that it's something that sort of bridges these gaps and makes things easier, and is within the sort of just feasibility of reaching people. This is kind of how it's manifested. I think it's definitely there, and I definitely think if people were going to be teaching this music at a university, or if they're going to take a serious interest in teaching